An internal CIA memo about Arlington Stewart, a guy recovering from severe burns and delivering units for the Mars project, introduces the movie. The plot, which takes place in 1976, centers on Norma and Arthur Lewis, who wake up early one morning to discover an enigmatic parcel on their doorstep. Inside is a wooden box containing a key, a wooden button covered by a glass dome, and a note announcing the arrival of Mr. Stewart at 5 p.m. Before Arthur leaves for his job at NASA, where he works in optics and was involved in the camera design for the Viking Mars probe, Norma and Arthur enjoy breakfast with their son Walter. Arthur finds out that his failure on the psychological test has resulted in his rejection from the astronaut program. Norma, a literature teacher at a prestigious private school, shows her students her damaged right foot during a discussion about Sartre's interpretation of hell. Her employer informs her that she will no longer be receiving her Walter's school tuition discount, which puts her finances in jeopardy. Later, as predicted, a man with a badly damaged face named Arlington Stewart shows up at their door. He makes them an offer. They will receive $1 million and someone they do not know will die if they hit the button. Arlington gives them a full day to make up their minds. Norma hesitates for a long moment before hastily pressing the button. Arlington comes back to them with the money he promised, but he also leaves a hint that someone dear to them might perish as a result. Arlington leaves quickly as Arthur tries to return the money. Later, when Arthur and Norma go to a wedding rehearsal dinner, Arthur runs into one of Norma's students and discovers a box that looks like the one that was left on their doorstep and contains an image of Arlington. After looking into Arlington's past, Arthur discovers that the NSA is the owner of his vehicle. Simultaneously, Norma is told not to trust Arthur and to look up a library phone number by a man she meets at the grocery store. Since Arthur had asked Norma's father, a police officer, to run Arlington's license plate, Arlington chastises Norma for calling the police. Arthur discovers that their babysitter, Dana, is not who she seems to be when he meets her at home. She tells him to search in the mirror for solutions before she vanishes without explanation. Additionally, Arthur finds Arlington's photograph in a NASA employee photo. Separately, Arthur and Norma go to a library and follow hints that go to Arlington. Arthur follows Arlington's wife as she leads him through 3 water gateways, selecting the right one based on a previous clue. With Arlington's help, Norma considers her deformities and feels a brief emotional bond with him. When Norma and Arthur go home, Arthur comes out of the water portal, and they discover Walter is asking for explanations. Their son is taken during a wedding, and Arthur is taken by a former NASA employee who says he had to make a similar decision between his wife and daughter. Before being hit by a truck, Arthur is given a manual and water portals. However, he is interrupted by a Santa Claus figure. Surrounded by military people, Arthur exits from a NASA warehouse. Returning home, Arlington presents them with a last option: either Arthur shoots Norma to save the money for Walter's future and restore his senses, or they live with their $1 million and a deaf-blind kid. They find out that Arlington's employers are putting people to the test. It is decided by Norma and Arthur to sacrifice Norma. Walter regains consciousness after she is shot, and Arlington gives the $1 million to a different couple who hit the button. As the movie comes to an end, Arthur is taken away by the authorities, signifying that the testing cycle will go on.